Hey guys, BigGardener81 here. It's late September, almost October 2014. Just kind of going to go over, kind of show you what my garden looks like right now. Um, Unfortunately, I've had a lot of lost tomatoes and things. Some health issues kind of prevented me from picking all my fruits there and my vegetables, and overall taking care of my garden towards the mid-season here. Anyhow, we see like some of these leaves and things on the tomato plants are kind of dying off here. I'm not an expert, obviously, but it looks like this might be a disease, or I think the word blight might come to mind. So I don't know, but that kind of started, probably in the middle of the season as well. Beginning of the season, all my plants looked really good. Everything was going great. I've been trying to keep a log of how much of each different vegetable and things that I've been able to harvest, and I'll kind of update you guys with the totals on that. I think my biggest producers obviously are going to be my cucumber plants, which don't look like much now. They're pretty well tired and dying off, end of the season and everything. So those produced a lot. I will get those numbers all figured out at some point, like I said, and update them. I had a lot of tomatoes. That was probably the next plentiful harvest, but of course I had a ton of tomato plants this year. 8 plants in my main garden here, and I think another maybe 6 or so, maybe another 8, and another little plot that I have. But this is my main garden here. Just gonna walk around to the second row here. The watermelons, you see I've got a couple that are broken, or one that's broken and one that's starting to crack open or something there. They grew okay for what they were. They're only supposed to be, smaller size watermelons, but they weren't super sweet as I was hoping. They were alright, but they weren't as great as I thought. One thing I do still have a lot of is carrots. They probably need to be picked pretty soon here. Those actually did really well, surprisingly. Last year, I didn't get very many carrots out. Of course, my garden was a totally different configuration, much smaller, but for all the ones I planted last year, I only got a couple out of them. They just weren't planted in a good spot, and I didn't have the soil prepped right. This year, this particular bed, I actually mixed a little bit of sand in with the soil, kind of loosen it up so those carrots could really root themselves and grow down in the soil. Strawberry plants actually grew pretty big, the plant themselves. Not much production out of them this year, but this is the second year, and they of course were much smaller to start with this year, so I don't know if maybe next year I'll get a few more out of them. I do want to keep my strawberry plants. They do come back every year apparently, and something I just wanted to grow. But the watermelons I'll probably not do again. That I'll probably say screw it. This bed over here, I think I may have shown in the last video I made of the garden. I'm not 100% sure. This one actually was all potato plants and some onions in the back there, and then I have my potato box, which I still need to dig up and see if there's any potatoes in it. I don't really know how well it worked out this year. That was one of my experiments that I did, and one of my problems is all the trees up here. They kind of block a lot of light in this area, but I started these green beans and I needed to string them up. I just couldn't get to doing that this year as I wanted to, but I did get a set of green beans planted late in the season here, and I actually got a pretty good harvest out of these. For the first harvest I picked, decent sized ones and everything too, so I'll kind of show you guys that. And of course, like I said, I'll update my totals at some point with how much I actually got out of my garden as far as each different fruit and vegetable and all that kind of stuff. So down here, this is my three sisters garden bed. You can see my corn that's kind of dying off now, and these zucchinis. I've got one zucchini, I think, or 2 zucchinis maybe. They're just starting. I don't know if they're going to make it or not. And then, of course, green beans in the middle there, which I've got a few out of. But the production on this plot here with the green beans was very low because they just couldn't get enough light from the trees that are next to it, and also all the plants that I planted in this box. I probably would do this configuration a little bit differently if I was going to try it again. So, again, these are all my peppers and tomato plants, and I got some basil in these next 2 beds here, and some chives, and put some onions and garlic too in there. The peppers were not super plentiful this year, but it was my first year actually trying to grow them. I got a few nice sized like bell peppers that were probably about 75% of the size maybe of store-bought peppers. So I was not disappointed with that. I was very happy. My jalapenos, I got a ton of jalapenos, a lot of small ones. But again, they were probably about half to 75% the size of store-bought from what I've seen and can remember. But they came out pretty well, and actually made twice. I made jalapeno poppers on the grill with them, and they were very good. So definitely going to grow jalapenos and peppers again. And kind of talked about the carrots, but I didn't mention the beets. I had some first set that I pulled, we actually canned all those, and they came out pretty good. And this is the second set. I'm hoping to get some decent ones out of here before the end of the season. So that's pretty much my garden right here. And until next time, guys, have fun growing.